10 years of Soviet occupation, a civil war, the ongoing struggle to overthrow the Taliban. Successive conflicts over the past 3 decades have left over 1.5 million people dead or maimed. Afghanistan's landscape bears the scars of these wars. In such an environment, sport is understandably far down the list of priorities. Mohammed Anwar Jagdalek is president of the National Olympic Committee.
The international community has come here with a program of building schools and roads and hospitals. It's what has been decided at international conferences, establishing this much-needed infrastructure. I agree that these things are vital, but I feel it's a shame that the international community hasn't shown a bit more initiative. They should support sport. They should realize that sport is just as essential for our health, for our peace, for national unity. It can also help in the fight for the abolition of illegal drugs. They should talk to us. They should put money into helping sports grow in Afghanistan, not just follow what is suggested at international conferences.
But out of the wreckage, there is a sense of hope among the people, and there are signs of things picking up, especially for consumers, and a very gradual improvement in the standard of living. Kabul has its own golf course, complete with a professional. Admittedly, the fairways and greens are a far cry from Augusta, but it is a positive sign. People are enthusiastic and want to see sport develop in a bid to restore morale and even build a sense of national achievement. Afghanistan's achievements last summer at the Beijing Olympics certainly boosted the country's morale. Ruhollah Nikpai won a bronze medal in the men's 58-kilogram class taekwondo. It was the country's first ever Olympic medal. The National Olympic Committee is keen to build on the success of Beijing and use it as a springboard for the development of the country's meagre sporting facilities.
The bronze medal won for Afghanistan in Beijing by Ruhollah Nikpai has had a significant impact nationally and internationally. Now we can see that the International Olympic Committee and the Asian Olympic Council both have a positive view about the future of sport in our country. And there seems to be good reason to hope, as I do, that Afghanistan has a bright sporting future.
The poor infrastructure and lack of government funding mean it's hard for Afghanistan to compete on the international stage. But they do manage to send a small team of athletes to major sporting events. Masood Azizi has represented Afghanistan in the 100 metres at the last 2 Olympic Games. With a personal best of 11.11 seconds, he didn't progress far in Beijing, but the experience was invaluable.
It had always been one of my dreams to compete against the famous athletes that I saw at the Olympic Games in Beijing. I was very happy to have been able to race against them. What I did discover from talking to other athletes and looking at how they would prepare themselves for the races was that the facilities and the equipment that we have here in Afghanistan are so much worse than the stuff my opponents had access to. Totally different. But nonetheless, it was a great experience, and I would love to be able to race against them all again, anytime.
Following the Games in Beijing, the Afghanistan government has now pledged to devote funding to convert the concrete track around the country's main sporting arena, Ghazi Stadium, into artificial fibre, as well as paying for extra professional coaching. Masood was one of only 2 track athletes that Afghanistan sent to Beijing, and unlike Robina Mukimya, who competed in the women's 100 metres and who now spends much of her time training in China, Masood is still based in Kabul. Like most Afghanis his age, Masood still lives with his parents. Relaxing at home with his friends, life may appear perfectly normal. But the daily power cuts are very different to the experience of most of his Olympic rivals. Nevertheless, he is determined to stay in Afghanistan as he prepares for the London Games.
I love my people and I never want to leave my country. Whenever I go abroad, I aim to win a medal so that I can return home with the medal for my people and make them proud. But the support of my people is not just something for me when I'm doing my sports. I always need my people's support in order to be successful in my everyday life. Once I can do that, I can perform well in my athletics.
Wrestling, like athletics, is a sport that's traditionally popular in Afghanistan. At Kabul's sports club just outside Ghazi Stadium, there are daily training sessions, with many of the participants now dreaming of a place at the next Olympics. Fencing, however, is very much a new sport in Afghanistan, although it's been embraced with considerable enthusiasm. The National Olympic Committee is aiming to expand its roster of Olympic sports, and the fencers are also keen to experience Olympic glory.
We want to go to London and bring a medal back home, just like our taekwondo team that won a bronze medal in Beijing. We are really applying ourselves at the moment. We're training very hard, and we still have another 3 years to work at it, so that we can make ourselves ready for the 2012 London Olympics.
It would appear that the powers that be might achieve something if they invest in the sporting infrastructure of Afghanistan as well as its roads and schools. Sport does have a role to play in helping to rebuild this war-torn country. The Olympic dream has given Afghan athletes something to aspire to, and its people something to be proud of.